VeVe just partnered with Ubisoft, and here's what you need to know. So without further ado, we're going to be jumping in all the details and what that could mean for the future and potential of VeVe and these rabid NFTs. So without further ado, let's go ahead and just dive right in. Let's jump right into it. We have VeVe partnering up with Rabbids and Ubisoft. This could be massive for the future potential of VeVe and the direction of where VeVe could go. We'll talk a little bit more about that towards the end. All right, but first up, we have Reese, the communication manager of VeVe, saying Lambo, Sesame Street, Rambo, Disney 100 celebrations, and Burning, and now Ubisoft. So even if you're like a perma bear or kind of bearish on VeVe, this definitely has to raise your eyebrow just with some of the things I've been doing, including this drop and the potions with Disney. So Disney, yeah, it has a new mechanic on VeVe, a burning mechanic, similar to what we saw on Basie with the serums and the mutant apes. So with Disney 100, they're dropping this potion that you can burn for a poster, and all the posters are going to be super exclusive, and they celebrate Disney 100. So the potions are limited to 1923, I believe the number is, and so that could be massively scarce. So these are kind of cool dynamics that you would normally and typically see in the wider macro NFT space. Again, platforms like Basie or NFT projects like Digidaigaku with the villains and the potions there to upgrade your villain. So again, this is something that's been happening in the macro NFT space already. So it is very interesting and exciting to see this on VeVe. And with these rabbits dropping, partnering up with a actual game company and gaming studio, this is massive. So this could be something that could spell out some future potential of where VeVe could go. And this drop is going to drop on March 25th at 8 a.m. PT, and we'll get into a little bit more information about Rabbids themselves and what they are. It says, after first appearing in the Rayman series, the infamously mischievous, playful, and wacky Rabbids are a staple in Ubisoft's creative universe. Since their debut, the Rabbids have starred in several eponymous titles, including many of their party games for the whole family and their newest release, Rabbids Party of Legends. This multimedia franchise has amassed more than 20 million units sold worldwide, over 16 games, comic books, and Rabbids Invasion television series, now synonymous with Ubisoft itself. Rabbids serve as an outlet for creativity and even foster a relationship with some of the most famous video game characters in the world. All right, so that's a little bit more information there, and they've actually dropped on Sandbox already. So you can see here, this is kind of their first launch here into the metaverse. Now you can see he jumps out of a portal with the plunger, so super funny, cute characters. And they were originally dropped to celebrate the Year of the Rabbit on Sandbox, and you can see here they had 4 different rarities, similar to what you would see on VeVe, and you can see the different minting dates and things like that. And it says, to celebrate the Year of the Rabbit, the Ubisoft and the Sandbox teamed up to let players enter the metaverse as one of the Rabbids in an exclusive Lunar New Year experience. Each character will have special in-game benefits, including drops, surprises, and access to playable Sandbox avatars. And they are actually included in Sandbox's like monthly event where users can, play with these avatars and earn sand. So it's actually really cool how the Sandbox actually works with all these mini games and all these games that are like basically keep coming in the Sandbox. And you have celebrities like Paris Hilton that created their own land and metaverse and game inside there. You have Snoop Dogg, The Walking Dead, WB, and many actual big brands and celebrities coming into the Sandbox and creating their own games and their own ecosystem. So again, this is pretty cool to see this kind of type of activity happening on the Sandbox. Now, where this could tie in with VeVe is, could we see VeVe do something like this similar? Will they go with the VeVeverse and have playable avatars in the VeVeverse and you could use your Rabbid? Or will there be some type of integration with the Sandbox where, similar to Quid, where Quid was dropping these avatars that are actual playable in the Sandbox itself? And as a matter of fact, I'm doing a giveaway around that. No, I'm not paid to say this. I know there's been a lot of drama lately, but this is not paid. This is just something Quid helps me do giveaways on here on Twitter. So again, if you're interested in that, check that out. Now back to this. So again, could we see some type of integration with the Sandbox? And again, people faded the Sandbox, but you can see here they work with a lot of different brands, IP, game companies, and music companies, and many, many others. And some of the big names like Snoop Dogg, Adidas, The Walking Dead, Avenged Sevenfold, Warner Music Group, Lionsgate, Ledger, Smurfs, Gucci, Deadmau5, Atari, Binance, Basie, World of Women, Square Enix, Ubisoft, Richie, Houghton, CoinMarketCap, and the list goes on. All right. So I would love to see something like that. I know people kind of like fudded and kind of faded Sandbox originally, including myself. But if you actually look at their daily amount of gamers, they actually have quite a few. I think it's like 40K plus. And if we look at Depth Radar, it doesn't really tell the whole story. It just shows you the buying and selling of assets on the Sandbox. So it doesn't give you a full picture. So again, this would be cool. Again, I know a lot of people fudded it, but the Sandbox is coming to a head and snowballing and could cause an avalanche of activity. So definitely something not to sleep on. Okay, so back to this. There's got to be a lot of questions answered here in terms of where VeVe plans to go. And I, in my opinion, want to know when the VeVe is going to drop. And once it does drop, we will probably have a little bit more questions answered there. And hopefully they cover this more in an AMA or a future, kind of video or community update. And hopefully we get more information about the direction and vision of where VeVe plans to go. Are they collectors at heart, or can we see more types of value and more types of utility like we're seeing on other platforms like Quid, Sandbox, and all these different avatars, and kind of the more Web3 open metaverse? So again, lots of questions to be had, but this is definitely an exciting drop and partnership with a game studio like Ubisoft, which is a big one. So again, very exciting stuff happening on VeVe with the potions. Now a huge game company like this, a lot of good indicators of where things could go. And yeah, so that's all I got for this video. I hope that sheds light a little bit about where VeVe could go. But yeah, this is what I'm kind of jumping to in terms of my conclusions or speculations, and not to really jump into like this Nintendo speculation that I was seeing a lot of people jump into, because Rabbids and Mario somehow equates to a Nintendo license. Yeah, that's a bit of a stretch, but I see where people are coming from. Now, in my opinion, Nintendo will enter Web3. I just don't know how or when they do, and maybe they wait till the Marioverse movie's out, and maybe they do something a little bit later. We saw Pokemon also hire for kind of a Web3 position, sort of. So again, I think all the brands, I think all the companies are going to eventually be in Web3. It's just a matter of how and kind of when. And will VeVe kind of stick to their bread and butter in terms of collectibles, comics, and kind of that collectible market? Or will they branch out and do a little bit stuff like what we're seeing on other platforms like Quid and Recur and things like that? So time will tell. Again, these are just something I'm noticing in the kind of macro space, how I'm kind of tying it all in together. And you see VCs like Animoca Brands really leading the way in terms of the Web3 metaverse and pushing the platforms that they invest in to be actually interoperable amongst each other. So anyways, that's where I kind of see the direction of Web3 games and the metaverse going and how it's connected together. We even saw Sony, I believe, file a patent on NFT transfers in their games. So again, this is where I see things as going as well. I've been trying to say it for over a year or two on the channel. Hopefully now this is all making the connections for you and how it's all connected. But that's all I got for this one. Let me know what you think about it down in the comments below. Do you think this could spell out, maybe some integrations into the Sandbox or VeVeverse or playable avatars? What do you think this could be long term? Maybe it's just collectibles. If it's just collectibles, just let me know down in the comments below. I'm curious what all you guys think. So without further ado, that's all I got for this one. I'll see you in the next one. Be like an NFT, be authentic, and I'll catch you later. Peace.